Greetings, y'all. Welcome to episode 2 of Selfcare Warfare, the podcast. This is your host, Adobe, and I welcome you back to this cute little world I'm trying to create. Before I even say anything, I just want to point out that this is my second time filming today. I lost the audio. I put my notebook on top of I made a disaster, to be honest with you. Like a cat who just like climbs on shit and just fucks shit. I did that, but to myself. But the lighting is so much better, so I'm not even mad at it. I could talk about this shit over again, it's fine. This is just how life works, I guess. Episode 2, take number 2. Here we go. I learned so much from the last episode. If y'all didn't catch it earlier or before listening to this, I kind of introduced myself, just a little bit of like my perspective. I tried to incorporate a lot. It is what it is. It was a very good first start. Again, I learned so much that I have zero judgments towards it. I don't think I'll ever listen to it again. But it's out there. There are some things that I probably would say differently, but I'm just going to leave that for the conversations. And if it really matters, somebody will bring it up and maybe I'll have the energy to answer it or respond in that way, but there's no need to nitpick. So it is what it is. But I did learn a lot. I just tuned so much more into my speaking. I ad-libbed so much. I said and so, this, that, all this filler, so much. And it was just distracting. It was annoying. And when I was sitting down editing, it literally took me hours to slice out all of the fluff, all of the nonsense. And so I'm very much more aware of how I'm speaking and how the words are coming out. And so maybe that is going to result in me talking much slower, but it's so much better than me saying and this, that all the time. You should have seen the timeline. It was just sliced the hell up with just cuts of me cutting out all of this stuff. And I can even notice a difference from just like this being take 2, because when I was revisiting the audio, I was already hearing all of the things I had to cut out and stuff. So just this whole process, I feel like I'm already getting better. It feels good to like get better at things and recognize improvement. So I think I've picked an okay thing, because I'm not that good at starting from scratch, but if I can see some sort of improvement, then I'm okay with moving forward. This episode, I really wanted to just dive into how I guess I've been showing up for myself and utilizing my time. I am just such a very like free-flowing person. That's great and all. It's beautiful and all that. However, I have just been like craving discipline and craving structure and routine for so long. Honestly, pretty much my whole life. Like when I started high school, middle school, maybe 7th grade, it was pretty much all up to me when to go to bed, whether or not I wanted to do my homework, just like structurally and discipline wise. Because I was such a quote unquote good kid, I just didn't really have to go to bed when I should have gone to bed or done my homework. I've just always been able to get by without those rules, I guess. I've always had a hard time with structure and discipline. Let's just make the long story short. that's not one area in life that I've really shined in. So it's not surprising that at 27, I am struggling with these things. I guess it's been building up. I'm not going to say that this is coming out of nowhere. However, I feel like up until this week or the past few weeks, there have just been a lot more action that's being put towards creating that structure and creating that discipline in my life. I feel like a lot of it has to do with me getting older. I still feel very youthful, but I'm gonna be 28 in August. That's in like 3 months. Naturally, I just want more out of life and I deserve more out of life. I have a much more clear idea of how to achieve those things. I would say this whole year, since the beginning of 2022, I've been gradually kind of refining things and getting down to like the details of my life. I will say that stemmed from having a very impactful 2021 in terms of just like detachment. And I am the type of person, and I've been raised in the type of way and programmed in the type of way to show up for people, loved ones, family, friends, much more easily, much more readily, much more quickly, with much more enthusiasm for other people, family, friends, loved ones, than I do for myself. I feel like in a lot of ways, so many ways, last year was just like my personal epiphany of this is not going to end well if I continue to put other people first. It just isn't it. It's not the vibe. It's not cute. It's not helpful. It's not making you any money. It's not helping you level up. And, it's not solving any of your problems. And so, yeah, learn the art of detachment from other people. This year has been like the first year, I would say, in my life that I have been just like completely self-centered. People who know me might think, oh, you are not self-centered already. I do enjoy self-care and putting myself first, and I do have certain principles and boundaries and stuff, but my mind frame in a lot of ways, I used, honestly, just to hold myself completely accountable, I used people as distractions. I would fix someone else's life or solve someone else's problems so I didn't have to do that for myself, and I allowed myself to be used, for lack of better words. It is what it is. It happened. But this year, nonetheless, has been like the first year of me kind of just like transitioning into like, oh, this is my world, and I'm not making certain sacrifices for other people anymore. I'm living on my own. I have space. It's just been a lot easier for me to reel things in, and it's just giving me so much clarity to just understand myself. And in recording the first video and then having this conversation again, that's exactly what it is. I just have this space now. We're like in the 4th or 5th month of the year, and so for the past 5 months I have been just like honing in. And it's so funny that it's taken 5 months, because it just, man, I am a slowpoke. I don't know, like there is no timeline on the healing process or anything like that, but I can definitely attest to the fact that I am a slowpoke, and I have a very delayed reaction to certain realizations and like what's actually happening. So, but it's okay. I understand this about myself. It is what it is. I have been able to just get into the details of my life, and it's honestly been pretty fun. So that's what we're going to be talking about today in this episode, because for the past week I have been doing an amazing self-care routine, and I'm gonna break it down because this self-care routine, I actually made it months ago. I'm telling you, this process has taken 5 months. I've just been withering down to the to the details, and I've created this. Let me pull it up right now. Routine for myself that I have been doing for the past week. 5 days, I guess. Well, today's Saturday. Started on Monday. And I have this notebook that it's just like a very thick. There are like 180 sheets in this. It's just like a notebook, and that's how I've organized myself for years. This is what I've been able to keep up with. But I have started a Google Calendar, which my friend recommended, and I'm very happy that he did. Thank you, Kevin. Shout out. And so I've been doing that, but the notebook has been what I've been doing for like years, because I'm able to just like journal and make lists and, you know, scratch paper and all that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, this is how it goes. And I honestly, this routine has been a game changer for me. So I'm happy to share it because it's worked for me. And I'm just like, wow, I'm doing it. It feels so good to be in motion. This is how it goes. I'm just going to be fully transparent. It's nothing too serious, but the list has been in the making. But I would say this routine has been something that I've been working on for years. It's been easy to implement because it's something that it's stuff that I've already been doing, just not well. So I wake up at 6:30, and I know that sounds really early, but it just feels better to have more daylight time. I definitely enjoy the solitude of the night, and just knowing that you're the only one up, no one's gonna bother you, and nothing's open, and there's nowhere to go. Just being able to create, I love that feeling. However, I do not love what it does to my sleep schedule. I don't do anything at the right time anymore. I feel tired when everyone's awake. It just isn't a good look. Waking up early in the morning, I feel like is the next best thing to being up really late at night, just for that, you know, solitude effect, and just knowing that nobody's going to bother you. I think also living in LA, it's Pacific Standard Time, and so we are awake like even earlier than everyone else. Being up at 6:30, I really do have that same kind of feeling of solitude that I would get from being up late at night. Waking up at 6:30 has been great, but I feel like that was like the hardest thing to overcome, because I would set the alarm on my phone and I would hit snooze all the fucking time. And I also thought, okay, maybe I'll start charging my phone in the bathroom, because that will cause me to get up and I have to turn the light on and then but my ass was still going to bed. Even after that, I would just put that shit on snooze and take my ass back to bed, and then wake up at like 10 a.m. every single morning instead and be upset. And my day would just start off bad because I'm already upset from waking up late and hitting snooze. I wake up disappointing myself every day. Do you know what kind of toll that takes? It's not fun. Yeah, you can imagine I'm over it. My solution was to get an alarm clock. I keep it downstairs in my desk, and it was just like a $10 or even like an $8 alarm clock from Amazon. I am able to walk downstairs, turn it off, and that's just like another barrier between me and the bed that makes it that much easier for me to not go back to bed. One thing that I also learned that was key to staying up was not feeding into those excuses. You know, the ones that come up where it's like, oh, I did not get enough sleep. Oh, I'm still tired. I want to go back to bed. Why do I have to be up this early? And all these certain things. It's so easy to feed into that. It's so easy to say, you deserve 10 minutes. You deserve another hour. The world can wait. And all these certain things. It's so fucking easy. So the one thing that I realized that was key was starting off with positive affirmations damn near immediately. No joke. I just don't even feed into that shit. Speaking positively to myself is something that I have a hard time with. I feel like a lot of people can relate to just being harder on yourself naturally than you are on everyone else around you, and just like judging yourself harder than you even judge your friends and your family. I recognize that breaking out of that mindset from the moment my consciousness starts is the only thing that motivates me to keep going. So as soon as I wake up, I'm like, I can't wait to do the things that I planned on doing. I want to wake up. I want to do these things. It feels good to be awake and get to work out. It feels good to, I just go in, like I just start making shit up, and that really does get me going. A few years ago, when I first moved to LA, it's not even a few years anymore, it's like 5 or 6 years ago, I was working as a nanny in Studio City, and I had to wake up at 5:45 every single morning to get these girls to school. 5:45. And guess what I did every single morning? I woke up at 5:45 because like I had that obligation and that responsibility. I didn't allow myself to feed into those excuses because I had people counting on me and all these sorts of stuff. That kind of experience low-key haunted me, because in the back of my mind I was always just like, dang, like you're able to do this shit for other people, but you can't do that for yourself. Like you can't get it for yourself. So that was another like negative thing that I would tell myself when I wasn't able to like get up and stay up and not go back to bed and not get those extra hours. And let me pause and just say that I sleep very well. I get enough sleep. That's not a problem. The hours is not a problem. I just like to sleep. I can sleep forever. So it's not even that I'm really tired. I just need to get my ass up. Yeah, that was like honestly the biggest hurdle. It took me weeks of really, really wanting to be like more and more intentional to the point where I got the alarm clock, and that honestly really helped. I'm not gonna lie, the alarm clock has been coming through, so this is a great little addition. And then again, instant shots of positivity from jump. Like just throwing the positive vibes, because if not, my ass is going back to bed. That's a hell yes, if not. Like it happened this morning. Today's Saturday and I allow myself to sleep in on Saturdays, but I woke up before the alarm and I could have stayed up, but I was like, meh, and ended up sleeping in another hour, which is fine. But just to prove that it is very easy to like slip into it again. Them positivity hits, I have to tune into that from the moment I wake up. Otherwise, I will succumb. Step 1 took a minute, but we wake up at 6:30 now. Look at that. The next step is I'll oil pool. I like to oil pull every morning. I've been doing that for years, and I don't know if anybody talks about this at all, but for me, when I oil pull in the mornings especially, You know that feeling of brain fog that you get when you're still groggy and tired and your mind is still kind of discombobulated and you're not fully there yet? And sometimes it can last a minute until you've like finally checked in fully into life. I don't know if anybody else has experienced this or knows about this effect, or if it's just me. I don't know if there's science behind it, but when I oil pull, that brain fog immediately goes away immediately. And so like that positive self-talk and all that kind of stuff that I have to do, that I have to like bombard myself with and like force into my brain in the morning, I really don't have to do that for like more than 1 to 5 minutes, you know, somewhere around there. Because then I'll start to oil pull. I would say like a minute. I just need to get myself to get in the bathroom and get the oil in my mouth, because one, I can't go back to sleep with a mouthful of oil, and it just lifts that fog immediately. I know people who like drink coffee and stuff every morning to lift the brain fog, but oil pulling, oof, that's powerful right there. And I make my own. I put black seed and clove, so you know, it has like the extra disinfecting, you know, good for your gums and all that, all the elements. But yeah, start to oil pull, and then I'll go downstairs and I'll make my tea. I usually drink out of a 32-ounce mason jar. I'll fill that up with I always have key lime in it. I'll put like a either roasted dandelion root or ginger, or I'll have like a tea blend that I prep with like whatever herbs I use from the cabinets. The one that I have now is hibiscus, gotu kola, raspberry leaf, and holy basil. And I'm gonna take a sip. With the ginger. It's really gingery. I'll have that, and so while the tea is steeping, I will continue my positive affirmations. I will get into like prayer mode and just really start to just like speak life into myself. Yeah, that's also another important part of my day as well. While I'm doing that, I will just tidy up, wash dishes, get my clothes from the living room, organize, whatever, do a load of laundry. After I do that, okay, I'll wash my face, brush my teeth, obviously, and then I will make my bed, and then I will go exercise. So at 7:30 I exercise. That's another thing that I have honestly, really truly, I just have no other choice but to be consistent in. And my body doesn't require much. I just understand how important it is for your body, mind, and soul to have some kind of connection. You know, you need that body connection. You need to tune into your body, you need to check into your body, settle into your body, especially when you're coming from dream world and dreamland. You know, we really need to integrate ourselves back into our bodies. And I'm the least fitness oriented, the least athletic person ever, and I really hope that this sticks. But yes, we exercise, and I give myself an hour and a half to exercise. I know that's a long time, but if I need less time than that, then whatever, we'll adjust the schedule. But I need an hour and a half because I'm not trying to rush myself. I don't believe in overexerting myself. I do believe in getting a good workout in, but like my way of working out is very, very intuitive. You know, I stretch the areas that need to be stretched. I move in the ways I feel like need to be moved. I incorporate some fundamentals. I have like 5-pound dumbbells that I'll use, and I have like a specific routine with that. But for the most part, when I work out and when I exercise, I let it be free flowing, because as soon as I feel like I have to finish this video, or I have to stick to this routine, or I have to do this boot camp, I'm gonna get so fucking discouraged, and I'm not gonna do that shit anymore. So I just show up in whatever it is that I want to wear. Sometimes it's just my underwear. I will just show up and move my body. It's been enjoyable. It's not incredible, but I'm like, okay, we're moving our body, and it's great to see results. I don't have a specific fitness goal, but I do enjoy being toned. So it's great to see some tone, some definition, and all that. That's good. I'll shower after. Then I'll go have some fruit to break the fast, or I'll make a smoothie, or I will have some juice, depending on how cold I am. Because I cannot have a smoothie if I'm cold, but something raw and fruit related is what I will have before I eat anything else. And so while I'm having my juice or my fruit or my smoothie, that's when I get into like the communication. That's when I'll pick up my phone and start answering text messages, DMs, emails, checking orders, checking my bank account, all of that kind of stuff. I will put a timer on and set it to an hour and respond to everything for that hour. I cannot stress enough how incredibly stressful it is to keep up with communicating with the outside world. I don't understand how people do it. It's a lot. It's so much. I don't enjoy it. It feels like pulling teeth, and it's one of the most unpleasant parts of my day. I wish I had nicer things to say about that aspect, but I just don't. I don't like how we communicate with each other. I don't like the sense of urgency that is tied to all of these messages and these emails and these texts. I don't like feeling like I have to respond to you right fucking now. I don't like how quick paced these conversations are, because it causes me so much stress. Instead of feeling overwhelmed throughout the entire day, I give myself 1 hour every single day to get to my responses. That way, even if I do get another response throughout the day or whatever, I'm just like, you know what, this can wait until my 1 hour in the morning. I'm not gonna lie, this has been really hard to implement. However, we're doing good. I've missed the mark a couple of times because I feel like with communication, that also goes into like scheduling, and I haven't gotten very good at scheduling yet. And I feel like that's like the next step of the journey, is getting better at scheduling, because one thing that the routine exposed for me is that it's not just in the morning time that I need this structure. It's not just in the getting dressed, because after I finish this routine, I'm literally just like kind of flailing. I just lose a lot of motivation. I feel like I reach this peak and then I start to decline very early in the day. And so I'm realizing that I need more structure, not just in the morning, but throughout the entire day. And so that's kind of what like this has kind of made room for. It's taken away a lot of excuses. A lot of the excuses that I would give myself, a lot of the perfectionism excuses. Like, for example, I would want to record videos or, just for my Instagram or reels or whatever the case may be, but I would never feel quote unquote camera ready because I'm not ready for the day yet. I haven't gotten ready because it's 10 a.m. I've already slept in and I've started to eat without getting dressed, or whatever the case may be. I've started to sit on my phone. I wouldn't feel camera ready, and so that would be an excuse for me to not share information or promote my business or whatever. And so by being ready for the day earlier in the day and being ready before I get to do all of these things, that eliminates that excuse. And so I have found throughout the week that because I don't have all these excuses, like, oh, I haven't worked out yet, oh, I haven't had my smoothie yet, oh, I haven't, whatever, I haven't responded to my emails, I've felt so much more free. I felt just so free. And the thing about freedom, I feel like it's so crazy. I had a retreat in Joshua Tree. It was at a barn. It was super cute. There was like a barn attached to the property with horses, and there was all these animals, goats, chickens, all that. One night, the gate for the horse barn opened, and the horses stayed there. I'm like, you could go off and live your stallion life. You could walk out, but you didn't, and it was really interesting. Okay, these animals are big as fuck, but they're docile. It was something similar to that, where I have this newfound freedom, but I was kind of just like, now what? What do I do with all this time? I realized that because I don't have all these excuses in the way, I can actually do the things that I said I was gonna do. It has given me the freedom to get to the detail of things outside of just my self-care and taking care of myself. I just realized so if I want these things done, for example, I want these podcasts to be released every Thursday. When are we recording? When are we editing? When are we promoting? Where are we promoting? How are we promoting? What are we promoting? What does that look like? That has not been put into place. I've been using my Google Calendar. I've just been getting a lot more detailed and color coded on how I'm going to execute my projects, the things that I'm working on. For the first time in my life, I guess honestly, probably since middle school, when we had the tracker keeper. I don't know if anyone remembers that, the notebook that they would give you in the beginning of the year, where you can write all of your homework, and you have the days of the week, and you have the calendar, and it was so, I don't know about y'all, but my stuff was so specific to where it was like, okay, for math, we would write down, read pages, this and that to this and that, and do this workbook, and it was just so detailed. But that was the last time I remember having that much detail in my life. For the first time since then, I've had the room to implement that kind of structure. I'm actually excited about it. I've been wanting this so bad. I've been craving structure so bad. Kids, and I guess this is circling back to inner child healing and all that kind of stuff, but I feel like naturally, because I work with kids naturally love structure. Kids love knowing what comes next. Kids love knowing what to do next. I don't feel like that feeling really goes away. I feel like that's why it's so easy for people to be stuck in certain things, because you know what's coming next. I haven't had that, and I still kind of don't have that, but I feel like there's so much more space in order for me to implement that now, because of the healing that I've done up until this point, but also getting more diligent about my self-care and having a designated space for that in my life. It's just, we have room, we have space, we did it, we made space, we released enough, got rid of it, and now my life is kind of like an empty room that I get to redecorate and throw some art up and get right and cute and aesthetic and all that kind of stuff. Better late than never. Not saying that it's not going to be a struggle or anything, because when we really get down to it, I have a lot of catching up to do. We don't even need to go there right now, but nonetheless, this is just the start. I thought I would share a little bit of how I've been getting myself together, trying to show up for myself, because I haven't done that before. And I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but I didn't. I thought I was, and I had my little bursts, but never consistently, never fully consciously. I'm really excited to be in the driver's seat. I know that 3 years me and 4 years ago me and 5 years ago me and 10 years ago me would be really happy with where I am in life right now. It's not perfect, but we move. I'm excited for episode 3. What I really, really, really want to do is start incorporating guests onto this show. And so that's like the next thing, just working with my schedule and working with like my planning capabilities and seeing what comes of that. I just can't wait for the expansion, and I'm really grateful for the clarity, the energy. Oh, before I sign off, because you can already tell that I'm about to get off. But before I get off, I will mention another thing that I started to incorporate. I really hope this sticks because it's kind of painful, but I kind of enjoy it at the same time. Cold showers. I started off with 3 seconds on Monday, and I've been working my way up, and I'm now like on 8 seconds of cold showers. There's just like a long list of health benefits. For me, I have gotten so much amazing skin benefits. Honestly, you sell me at the skin benefits. And so I've just been sticking it through. Some say that the best way to do it is for your almost your entire shower to be cold. Doing the cold shower has just been a very cool little like thing that I've added into my routine that honestly just gives me a hit of dopamine that works. It really works. It just like shoots me up with energy and confidence because I just did that crazy thing. Accomplishing something like that right before you start your day does something. I feel like one of the key elements of this whole thing is being positive and being mindful, staying focused in that. And so that really also helps me laser focus on that as well, just like staying motivated, staying pumped up, all that kind of stuff. So just thought I would add that in there as well. Cold showers, yes. But that's that. Thank you so much for just tuning in once again. Before I got on here, we had 14 listeners. So I hope those are 14 separate people. Honestly, I'm proud of myself. That's 14. In order to get ads on my Spotify podcast, I need to have at least 50 listeners. So that's like my new goal, and I'm really like happy about that goal because it's very achievable. And so my new goal is to get 50 listeners, so I can unlock the ads feature and start the process of like making money on here. But I'm not going to take up any more of your time. It's time to go. Thank you so much for listening, and I really hope to see you again.